Hey, it's me, Bobbert, and this is my little vlog video on the Nintendo Switch, which used to be known as the Nintendo NX. At least that was its project name, but now Nintendo finally showed off the console, and for a Dreamman trailer, it really got me hyped. It really does a great job telling you what it does, and I really want to get this on day one. Now, before I continue with my impressions of this new console, I just want to say that this is a bit unscripted, so if there's any pauses or stuttering, please forgive me. But I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. But the Nintendo Switch is essentially what we wanted the Wii U to be all along, which is a console handheld hybrid. Pretty much, you have the standard controller, and you can play the Nintendo Switch. I'm still getting used to that new name. It's a nice name. It's probably going to be catchy, and hopefully Nintendo find a way to create this clever catchphrase for it when they release new commercials for it. But anyways, you can play like like your standard console, like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But the really unique thing is that you can detach the controllers from the what they call it a Joy-Con, pretty much two parts of the controller, and you can attach it on both sides of the screen. That is pretty much also the console itself, so you can take it to you anywhere. And one question I have before I continue on with the praise is that how good is the battery supply here, because I really doubt it's any better or worse than the Nintendo Wii U gamepad. Well, better, it could be worse. I'm assuming that it's going to come with an AC adapter similar to the 3DS, so it can be, a bit better. But I'm also hoping that a third party will create some kind of special battery pack so you can play the Switch. I was going to say NX again, so you can play the Switch much longer. Now I'm probably going to use this more as a home console, but I'm thinking about probably trying it out, using it as a handheld for at least an hour. I don't really go out on long trips anymore. It's usually just me going to work or going out for a bit, do some grocery shopping. So I think for me it's not that big of a problem, but for those who have kids, who wants to go out for a long time while the kids are entertaining themselves, that could be a bit of a problem, especially if it lasts like maybe 2 hours at most. But again, we don't know much detail about the battery lifespan. Now the Joy-Con, which I'm pretty sure is short for Joy Controller or Joystick Controller, pretty much it has two parts, and it can also be used as separate controllers, so you can play two players. I find it hard to imagine that I find it hard to imagine how it can work on a lot of two-player games, mainly because of the camera. I'm assuming the small D-pad on the well, it would make sense on that one controller with the D-pad, but with the other one, it's a minus, so only does go to work. But pretty much the camera is really the only thing I am worried about when using the controller that way. But other than that, I really love how they show off some of the new games. I mean, of course, they got Zelda Breath of the Wild. It looks pretty alright. I don't see any big difference between the Wii U version. They show off shortly a new Mario game. It's it seems like the style of Super Mario 3D World, but the camera seems to be fixed like Super Mario 64. So maybe we'll have another Super Mario 64 style game where you can complete mission. And the one interesting thing I noticed about the trailer that when that woman took the console and her friends plays it, play two players. I'm assuming they're also playing Mario, that same Mario game for two players. So if it's similar to Super Mario 64 where you have to get stars, all over a certain land by completing missions, will you be able to do that in two players? Which is, I believe, Shigeru Miyamoto's original plan for Super Mario 64 when it first came out or was coming out. So maybe you'll be able to do that. Now, granted, Super Mario 3D World, there's something similar to that with 4 players on the screen, but that was way more get to the goal rather than completing missions. Let's see what else. But they also going to have a standard controller, the Pro controller. So, well, I don't think anybody's going to complain about the standard joypad controller, but they do have peripherals. Now, the one thing that kind of questions me is that is the screen touchscreen and is the little controller got motion controls? Because if not, then I'm assuming Nintendo's going to make at least peripherals for the motion controls. I'm sure about that. The touchscreen will be kind of questionable. I'm assuming it is because it has Amiibo support, and usually you activate an Amiibo, by pressing it on the screen, either on a new 3DS or the Wii U gamepad. So I'm assuming it's the same process here. I'm just assuming that the touchscreen is not used as much as, well, the gamepad or 3DS. So far for power, it seems to be on par with the Xbox One. I heard that it may be a little below that, but considering this is a home console handheld hybrid, it's forgivable because I think the gimmick alone will interest people to buying it rather than the actual power. Even when Sony and Microsoft are about to release the new upgraded version of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which is the Xbox One Scorpio and PlayStation 4K Pro, I believe it's called. But I'm pretty sure that the Switch will sell a lot better than the Wii U at least. I don't think it's going to be as big as the Wii. Maybe has some good success like the Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64. But I'm at least assuming that it's going to be better than the Wii U and GameCube as terms of sales. Now back to the games, they also show up a bit of Splatoon, which looks like an actual sequel to the game and not like a port or remake. They saw off a Mario Kart game, which at first I thought it was Mario Kart 8, which it could be, but with extra content. But the one thing that kind of doubts me on that is that the items on the top left and right of the screen, they hold 2 items, while I believe in Mario Kart 8 you only hold 1 item at a time. So that leads me to believe that it's a brand new Mario Kart game, or at least a really updated version of Mario Kart 8. Now there's supposed to be a port of Super Smash Bros. 4. They didn't show that off, which I wish they did, but I'm assuming it's going to be a port of Smash Bros. For the Wii U and 3DS, maybe combine them both and possibly add some new characters. I don't know, but we'll wait to find that out. And they getting some decent third-party support this time. To be fair, they say that about the Wii U as well, and look at that in the but it really helped that they show off some gameplay of Skyrim, a new NBA game. And I believe they announced a Batman Arkham City collection, uh, which it's really nice. Although there was a part of Batman Arkham City for the Wii U, so I'm not sure how much that means to people. But it does seem like their party is more behind the Switch rather than the Wii U. Now, for the games that are confirmed by it, I'm going by according to NintendoLife.com. This is where I'm getting most of my sources at. So far, the game that is pretty much confirmed is the new 3D Mario game, a Mario Kart game, Splatoon, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, a Pikmin 4 game. I only get the Pikmin 3DS game was the game that Nintendo was talking about, because they pre-state Pikmin 4. There's that Project Sonic 2017 game, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, an NBA game, Dragon Quest 10 and 11, just as 2017, and another new IP for Nintendo that we don't know much about. So already it does seem like the Nintendo Switch, I'll keep on wanting to call it the NX, but the Nintendo Switch is off to a good start. I really like Nintendo's idea, and I believe this is the last project that Iwata, had worked on before he passed away. So if this is pretty much Iwata's song, let's hope it's a very successful one. It does look like the most fun project that Iwata has ever been a part of, so thank you, Mr. Iwata. Anyways, I can't wait for the Nintendo Switch to come out in stores. It'll be out in March 2017, according to the trailer. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on it, and I hope y'all will too. This is me, Bobbert, and I catch you guys later.